Morning you guys, it's Karen and time for some more 2021 favourites. Today I'm talking about face makeup. So I've got foundations, bronzers, blushes, lipsticks, all that kind of thing. I don't have any highlighters or primers because they're not something that I use. I do own a couple of primers and a couple of highlighters, but I would say I've used them maybe twice in the last year. Okay, so we'll start with foundations, and I've got three foundations, one budget, one middle of the range and one higher end, which is quite nice. Let me start by telling you what my favourites were last year. So the number one favourite last year was the Kat Von D True Portrait foundation, and that no longer exists anymore. Also a favourite of mine last year was the Kiko Instamoisture foundation, and I do still like that. I like the way that it applies. I always think it looks lovely when I put it on, but I noticed with that, it was the same as something else. Was it my SPF that I talked about? I noticed that it would look a little bit cakey on me later on, and I'm not sure why, because it's moisturising. Maybe because my skin's gone away from being dry and so didn't need the moisture. I don't know. It didn't look as nice. It didn't hold up as well on my skin. And so that isn't a favourite this year. I do still like it and I do still have it, but currently I don't think I'll repurchase it. So my three favourites, and I can't say which one I like out of all three, to be honest, the most, but let me start with the higher end one. It's the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation Plus Skincare. It says improves bare skin in 2 weeks. I've never tested that theory, but I do really like this, and this is quite a lot like the True Portrait. The Kat Von D True Portrait would be the closest I would say this is to. So if you loved that Kat Von D one and would like to try something similar, this is similar and probably similar in price as well, I would say. So I do really like that. It's fairly liquidy. Mine's in number 22. Fairly liquidy. Actually, it's not quite as liquidy as the Kat Von D, just slightly thicker. But stays on really well, looks really beautiful, is probably medium buildable coverage. The next one, actually this is a bit strange, but the next favourite is this number 7 one, and it's the Hydra Luminous Moisturising Foundation. So even though this one is a moisturising foundation, it's still stayed a favourite, and I haven't noticed any difference on this. That's what it's like. So it's a little bit thicker again. I would say this is sort of light to medium coverage. You can put it on, if you put it on with a damp beauty blender, you could definitely get a nice light coverage, but you can also easily get a medium coverage as well. And I really like that as a sort of everyday foundation, and I loved that it was hydrating and moisturising, and it didn't ever look cakey on me and doesn't ever look cakey on me, and I still love that one. This is one that I have used for quite some years, so that's an ongoing favourite, whereas the IT Cosmetics is a fairly new discovery. And the next one I'm so impressed with, and it's the one I've got on today, so hopefully it looks nice on camera. It's the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. So it's in this glass jar with a dropper. What colour have I got? Fair beige I've got. So that's the colour I've got on today. I really like this, and I'm really impressed with it, and it's uber inexpensive. You know, I can't remember the exact price, but I'll be putting it on the screen as I did in the last videos. I used it the first time and thought, wow, that goes on lovely, it looks really nice, and I thought it'll probably not last, you know, because I don't think there's many foundations I've got in drugstore that are great. I think probably if I went to the ones that are not cruelty free, so like L'Oreal, Rimmel, Maybelline, I might find one, but I haven't found a drugstore one in a cruelty-free range that is nice. But this is really good. You know, it lasts all day. I've seen it at the end of the day and gone, wow, that's lasted really well. Like, it's barely moved, you know. It's quite thin, which I like. I like that in a foundation because I feel like it makes it look less cakey because it's not too thick, you know. Blends easily. You've got plenty of time to blend it before it dries down, but then it does dry down to probably a matte finish. If you don't like matte finish, you might not like it, but it doesn't, you know, make my skin feel tight or anything like that. It's just really nice. Really like that one. So that was a good find this year. Onto face powders, and I'm delighted to tell you that both of my face powders are dirty apparently are a budget choice. They are both by Revolution. So I love a pressed powder. I haven't found the perfect pressed powder in the perfect compact. So this Revolution one is called Pressed Powder Infinite Universal Pressed Powder with Niacinamide, and it is one that is almost white. But I used this today, and you can see it doesn't change things too much, but I do feel like when I put it on, I can see a little, you know, like if I put it on here, I'm like, oh, I can see a little bit of white, and I don't like that. I don't feel like this is translucent. I feel like, if I show you, if I put it on, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely lightened my face up a bit. Do you see that if I put it on my nose? I suppose I'm putting it with my finger, so it's a bit different, but I do like it as a powder, you know, if I can just make sure I'm really buff it out, it's fine. And this one I love. This is the Revolution, what does it call it? Luxury baking powder, and this is in the colour Lace. Really like this. Don't like the container it's in, because I find that really hard to get any out of, so I put it into another one. I think it's in my number 7 pot. Number 7 translucent loose powder is one that I love, but I find this to be just as good. So that is powders are one of the products that I've found you don't need to buy high end. There's nothing that I can find that's different about higher end ones than the drugstore ones that I've found and loved. I know that Revolution do oh, sorry, I've got that in my throat, that kind of colour of powder, but it's in a real sort of cheap plasticky square brick thing, and it just, I've bought it and it broke, and I didn't really like the plasticky container. I don't mind this one at all. But I might have another look, because they seem to always be coming out with different powders and concealers and stuff, don't they? But yeah, Revolution, I would say these two are really good. You know, they mattify, but they don't look too cakey, they don't look too flat. I think they're both really lovely. Oh, in powder, last year it was this one as well, so it's a 2-year winner. On to bronzers. Let me see what I talked about last year. Last year I talked about the Bare Minerals Invisible Bronze. That is still my favourite bronzer, but it doesn't exist anymore. They do have a bronzer, but it's not the same, and I love my Invisible Bronze in light. It's just the perfect one for me. Ironically, it's one that I don't use very often, because I was kind of saving it in case it went out. It was discontinued, and it is discontinued, and so I think, well, what do I do now, you know? So I almost need to use it up and find one that I can use instead. This is one that I love, and I wanted to show you this because I love the smell, I love the colour. It's the Too Faced, this is in Milk Chocolate, Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. Smells like chocolate, beautiful colour, really soft, blends lovely. I've told you in the past though, the problem with this for me is it doesn't stay on. This would be one I could wear perhaps to a night out, because I wouldn't need it to last very long. But if I'm wearing this, if I put this on in the morning, by the end of the day, it's sort of broken up somewhere on my face and doesn't stay on my face for some reason. But that aside, I absolutely adore it. But what I love most to use as a bronzer, and what I've got on today, is the Photography Fluid. This is just a liquid bronzer. This is the 8%, by the way, because you can get 12%, which is the highlighter. So that's what it comes out like. I put it on after my foundation, but before powder. And I just use the end of a makeup sponge and sort of press it along here to give me some colour, and I really like that, I feel like it looks, I'm able to get it more natural looking than I am with powder, which is unusual. I feel like normally it's powder, you've got a bit more control, but yeah, that's absolutely a favourite. So NIOD and Too Faced. Okay, on to blush. I've got one in the kind of higher end category, I suppose you'd say, and it is by Jamie Genevieve. Some of you may remember I met Jamie many years ago in Illamasqua in Glasgow, and she was such a sweet person that I knew when she brought her makeup out, and she's such an animal lover as well, that I was going to support her by buying, you know, some things. And I bought another colour in her blush, and I didn't like the colour, but I liked the formula, so I went and bought this one, which is called Pesca, and I just love it. I love everything about this. I love the little cardboard packaging. I think that it's really nice and small, you know, it's not a great big massive blush. I can't stand a big massive blush. I prefer this leathery type. I don't know whether it's actually leather though. And I really like the blush. It's such a beautiful colour, this. And it's not too powdery, it is easy to blend, it doesn't look too much, but you can build it up. It's just everything I want. I love that, really love that. I wish that she would come out with some more colours, because I would definitely buy more. So that's been a favourite this year. And then I think it was this year, actually, let me tell you what I chose last year. Oh no, it wasn't this year. I was going to say I think I discovered Flower Beauty this year, but it wasn't, because they were a favourite last year. But I love my Flower Beauty blush kits, these two in particular. In fact, these I haven't got any other colours, but the first one is in Peach Primrose. I think I was wearing that in my last video. Looks like that. And then this one is in Sweet Pea, I think it's called. Yeah, Sweet Pea. And they're absolutely gorgeous. Really, really beautiful colours. Those are just the perfect colours, I think, to, you know, one if you're looking for a sort of pinky look and one if you're looking for a peachy look. I just think they're both really, really pretty. And again, their packaging is nice enough. It's, you know, plastic packaging, but it's not too bulky. The blush stays on, it doesn't move, you know, it's on all day. Really nice. And then I just wanted to give a mention to Essence blush, because I do love that as well. In fact, this is the one I've got on today. It's in number 10 at Befitting. Looks like that. Just talk about setting spray and then we'll move on to lips. But setting spray, my favourite is still the same as last year, and it's this one, the Urban Decay All Nighter. I have repurchased a bottle of this because it's brilliant to spray on my masks, let it dry, spray on my face, and then none of my makeup comes off on whatever mask I use, whether it's, I've got satin ones and, you know, fabric one, cotton ones, all sorts, and this works really, really well. I never really used a makeup setting spray before the whole mask thing. I do also like the Morphe continuous setting spray, but I used one bottle of it and haven't ordered it again. But I would definitely recommend that one as not being as expensive as this, and one I'd be happy to use again. Okay, on to lips, and I think this last year I've been a bit brighter with my lipstick, like today, and I've been a bit more happy to do the neutral look like today for my eyes. Let me show you what I've got on my eyes actually. This stupid watch. Do you know, I've got this is the Fitbit Versa, and I've got a reminder that we've got an old single bed being picked up today. You put it out the night before on the doorstep and the council are picking it up in the morning, and it just keeps on coming up on my watch, and I keep on clearing it, but it keeps on coming up. That happens a lot, you know, where it's just I get like a reminder every 2 minutes and it's like, I know I've already cancelled it. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, aside from that, this is what I've used on my eyes today. This is nothing to do with face makeup, I know, but it's called the Super Nudes, and it looks like that. This may well become a favourite. I didn't include it in my favourites because I've only just recently got it, but it's been really nice to do this sort of nudie eye look, you know, nudie matte eye look, and that's given me the chance to try more lipsticks. And so I've tried more sort of pinky colours. So it's all pinky ones I'm showing you here. So my favourite lipstick brands, they're all liquid lipsticks. I do really like a liquid lipstick, and I would say these are they all feel about the same in terms of they do feel dry if you wear them all day. So I've got this one on now. This one is actually not one of these. This one is a Kat Von D one in Mother. I don't have too many Kat Von D anymore. That's not my favourite formula, but it will feel okay for the first couple of hours, and then my lips will start feeling dry. That's not a problem for me because I tend to be putting these on for YouTube, to be honest, and I'll then just put some lip balm on and it's absolutely fine. It then does come off in your coffee cup, etc. So I've got here a Stila, Sleek and Too Faced. So Sleek, let me tell you about this colour. This is Shabby Chic. I was trying to think, is there any way I can show you pictures of when I was wearing them? But I don't think there'll be any way. You'll have heard me talk about it before. I'll just do a swatch for you and hopefully that will give you an idea. Although ideally you're supposed to swatch on your fingertip, aren't you? This is supposed to be more like the colour it will look like on your lips, but that's the colour. And so these are the Sleek Matte Me liquid lipsticks, and really good. Still really enjoy these. These are, I will always buy these as well as buying the higher end ones, and I don't see any difference between them really. I suppose if I was pushed, oops, the Sleek ones are ever so slightly more drying, but it just means you need to put lip balm on a bit earlier. You know, like I said, liquid lipsticks tend to be drying anyway, and I haven't got any liquid lipsticks that don't dry down other than one by No7, and there's not really my thing. I think if they're not going to dry down, I'd rather not have a liquid lipstick. I buy them because they stay on and I can have a cup of tea and whatnot and not have, I don't know why it bothers me having stains on the cup. I mean, I'm putting it in the dishwasher, but I find that even in the dishwasher, the lipstick stain doesn't always come off, you know? I think it just makes me less paranoid that I'm going to spread it across my face, you know? I always feel like with strong lipstick on, that I'm going to catch it and have it like on my face, and I'm sure I've probably done that before. Anyway, so this one is called Shabby Chic, and that's the colour, and I've really enjoyed that this year. Then on to the Stila Stay All Day. Really, really like the Stila ones. I think this is my favourite packaging, and this is one of my all-time favourite colours. I just love this. This colour is called Perla. not to be confused with the Stila liquid lipstick called Palermo, which is a lot darker and is more like Kat Von D Lolita, but this is called Perla, and it's so pretty. It's a sort of mauvey lilac-y pink. Really, really pretty. And then finally the Too Faced Melted Matte. I've chosen a few different colours this year. This one is called Bottomless. Like I said, as you can see, I've been sort of experimenting with more pinky colours. Ooh, that's really nice too. And that's that one there. That's called Bottomless. And even putting the formula on there, I suppose the Sleek is maybe a little bit thinner, so you maybe have to put a little bit more on, but once it's on, it doesn't look any difference to me. I would say the Sleek is actually a good dupe for Kat Von D ones. You know, I don't know about colours wise. I should have a look through my Sleek lipsticks and see if any of them are dupes, you know, but formula wise, yeah, I would say the Sleek is a dupe for Kat Von D. But those are the lipsticks that I've tried this year. I've been pretty pleased with myself, you know, because I was never really into bright lipsticks. I was more into what some people have described as the dead lip look, you know, but I do really like that look as well. I do still use my Stila liquid lipstick in Caramello. I still use that, and then I might put a little bit of coloured lip gloss on the top, but it's not one with a heavy colour, you know, it's still that really pale lip, and I do still like that look. Okay, on to lip liners, and I've got two to talk about. The first one is number 7. Now, there aren't many number 7 colours in the lip liners that I like, but I have 2 that I use. The first one I've got on today with this Kat Von D lipstick, and it's this one in pink. Is there any point swatching it for you? Maybe. Actually, that's the colour there. So like I said, I've got that on today with the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Mother, and it suits it perfectly. And then I've got another one that's a bit more of a darker pink, and it's called Raspberry. I can't remember what I use that with. It'll be one that I rarely use because it'll be even bolder than this. But I really like the formula of the lip liners. I wish there was a larger range of colours because I would definitely buy more. I've looked at every single colour. They're really, really soft and creamy. They're twist up. They're really, really soft and creamy, and they last as well. Like, I've had this pink one for a long, long time and it hasn't dried out. You know, I thought this morning when I went to put it on, I wonder if this is going to pull my lips. Is it going to drag? And it didn't at all. And I've had it for a long time. So they don't dry out. They go on really smoothly. You get a little thing in the end to sharpen them with, so you can sharpen them to a point, which I like. So yeah, love that. That's the number 7. My other favourite is by NYX, and this is one that I've got here called Bedrose. So these kind of colours you can see go with the pinky lipsticks I've been wearing. Which one is Bedrose? That one there. Bedrose, and that goes with, I can't remember if it's Bottomless or Shabby Chic. I've actually got a whole list of lip liners with what lip liners match which lipstick. In fact, I think I put it on my Patreon channel for them in case they were interested. The NYX one, again, is like the number 7 in that this is a particular type, by the way. I don't know whether it's that slide on glide on. Yeah, slide on glide on lip liners. Hopefully they don't stop doing them because I know they've got a couple of types of lip liner. But this is one that you sharpen, which I'm fine with that as well. And you can get a nicer point. It's really creamy. These, again, don't dry out. I've got another one. I've got this one in Bedrose. I've got another one in something Rosy Sunset, I think it might be called. I've got quite a few of the NYX ones, and definitely a favourite. I've got lots and lots of lip liners, and I have found quite a few that I've liked this year, but I've got ones by Sosu, I've got ones by BH Cosmetics that I've enjoyed, I've got a couple of Morphe ones. I've still not found that perfect colour to match the Stila liquid lipstick in Caramello, but the funny thing is that I'm wearing that a lot less anyway, you know, so it hasn't been a big deal. Although I did find one recently that I'm trying out that might fit that category. So if you want me to talk more about lip liners, let me know. I don't know how many people use lip liners. If I'm wearing lipstick, I'm wearing a lip liner. I don't wear a lipstick until I have a lip liner to match it, because I just feel like I've got such a thin top lip, and obviously as you age it gets worse, but I feel like it just gives it some definition, you know, and without lip liner I feel like it doesn't look as nice. I forgot to tell you about last year's favourites with lipstick and lip liners. I don't have lip liners down here for last year, so I don't know whether I just didn't mention lip liners because I don't think I had any favourites. I probably still liked NYX for sure. I don't know about number 7. Lipstick I've put down Stila liquid lipstick was my favourite, and I'd say if I had to choose, it would be hard to choose between Too Faced and Stila. I'd probably go for Too Faced just because they seem to have a bigger range of colours and they often come out with new ones, whereas Stila don't seem to do that as much. Okay, that's everything for face makeup. I hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know what your favourite face items have been this last year. If it's anything I've mentioned here that you're also loving, I'd love to hear from you. And if there's anything else that you think I should try, let me know that's been your favourite, you know. I'm going to do a hair care video next, so that should be pretty good. I think I've told you what I'm wearing throughout the video, haven't I? I've got the HD liquid foundation on by Catrice. I've got that Charlotte Tilbury nudes on my eyes. I've got the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Mother, and on my cheeks was the Essence blush in number 10 Befitting. So yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.